Hey guys, Miss Dickerson here. I am so sorry that I am not with you right now, but I have to be at the district office for the next couple of days for some training, but we are still going to continue in our school garden design project for 3rd through 5th grade. So I'm going to show you how, okay? And if you ever need to get back to this video, it's going to be on Google Classroom, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google Drive, just a reminder. You're going to click right here where it says New, then scroll down to More. Then right beside More, it says Google Drawings, okay? So you're going to click on Google Drawings, and then Google Drawings is opened. Google Drawings is super helpful if you ever need to design anything. Lots of engineers use it just to map out what they're going to do. Remember that we are picking one school garden that it has been created by one of you guys, so make sure that you work super hard on this and take it seriously, okay? Next thing that you need to do is you need to title your drawing. So up here where it says untitled drawing right there in blue, we are going to label this as school garden design. Okay. Next part, remember the great people at Google knew that we would mess up, so no matter what you do, it will be saved. Okay. So I'm on Google Drawings. Then for my school garden, we want to make sure that we have our raised beds. So what our vegetable plants and everything are in. And so we need to make sure that we have those included in our school drawing or school garden design drawing on here, okay? So first thing I'm going to show you how to do that is you're going to take over here where it says shape. Now we don't need equations because this is not, we're not going to do division raised beds. That would be a little bit crazy. We're just going to use shapes. So you're going to click on shapes. Then you are going to click on whichever shape that you want. Now remember to be realistic, so we don't need a smiley face, we don't need an X, we don't need a lightning bolt, okay? Make sure that everything that you are doing is realistic, okay? So once you click on a shape, it will turn into a black cross or a black T, whichever you prefer. Then all you have to do is click and drag it however big or small that you want it to be, okay? So I've just made myself a rectangle, and if you notice, it changed colors. It changed from a white color to a light blue. Now, if you don't like that color, perfectly fine. I don't really either. Just make sure that whenever you click on it, if you want to change the color, that you have this blue outline right here. See how I'm tracing that? And you'll go right here where it says fill color to this little paint bucket, and then you'll just click on whichever color that you want, and it changes color for you, okay? So this is going to be one of my raised beds, and I need to label it because great engineers label everything. Because remember, anytime that you are designing during this time, Mr. Price, Miss Garland, Miss Robertson, or myself should be able to look at this and say, oh, that's a raised bed, or that's a walkway, or this is a pond, or a swing set, or whatever it is, okay? So we are going to label absolutely everything, and to do that, we're going to add a text box, which is right here beside shapes. And any of this stuff, guys, that you are looking at, if you just hover over it, it will tell you what it is, okay? So even if you can't really find something, if you just hover over it, it will pop up and tell you what it is. So right here beside shape, it says text box. It's the capital T with a box around it. You're going to click on it, and you're going to get that black cross again. Same thing that we just now did. You're going to drag and drop. Okay, and now I can type. So I'm going to label this as raised bed. And then I'm also going to say whatever I have in there, okay? Now remember, be realistic. We're not going to grow chicken nuggets. We're not going to grow a unicorn. We're not going to grow a Burger King drive-thru or anything like that. So remember to be realistic in everything that you do in this, okay? So for example, in this raised bed, I'm going to have lettuce and kale, okay? So now I know what is in that raised bed. Okay, so in everything that you do on this project, you need to make sure that it's labeled. You need to make sure that whenever anyone looks at it, they can tell what it is. Never assume that we know what it is. So if it's a raised bed or if it's a walkway or whatever else that you have planned, make sure that it's labeled. Okay, and you do that through the text box. Next thing, a couple of things that you have to have on your project. You need to have a walkway, and to make a walkway, You have this great little thing right here beside on the other side of shapes where it says select line. So you're going to click on it, and then I always use this one right here called the curved connector. Okay, so I'm going to click on it, and then we have that black T again. This curved connector is my favorite because you can move it any way that you want. See how it's kind of curved, kind of looks like a lazy S. So I'm going to drag this across just like this. Yours does not have to look like mine, but you do need a walkway, okay? And so to make a walkway, you do need to make sure that we can tell that it is a walkway. So I'm going to drag another line again, and now I have a walkway. Now remember that we have to label everything, so I'm going to go back up here to text box, and then I'm going to make my text box pretty big, and then this is my walkway, so I'm going to put walkway. Then you see this little blue dot that's kind of up in the air. Whenever you see that, that means that you can rotate or turn that entire box, okay? Because obviously this doesn't really fit very well. So I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to click and drag my walkway, okay? That way I can see that this is obviously a walkway. Now, that text is kind of small, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to hit bold. And I'm also going to make this a little bit bigger, and you do that just by hitting the plus sign, just like that. So now I have no doubt in my mind that this is my walkway, okay? You need to have at least 5 raised beds. So in order to do that, remember you go to shapes. It's fine if you have circle raised beds, but just be realistic because obviously we're not going to have smiley face raised beds or anything like that. You know that. So now I have 3, and here's my 4th one. They can be any size, just make sure that they are realistic. Obviously, we're not going to have a, 36-foot raised bed. That would be insane, okay? And these can be different colors. Make sure that you add your text box. Remember, that's under text box beside shape. And remember that text box is beside shape. Anytime that you make those, you can add any kind of words or anything. Make sure that you tell me what in the world is in your raised beds. That way that I know. So this is my raised bed. And here is my raised bed as well, raised bed. And I'm going to go back in a couple minutes and label what's in there. Now, remember to be realistic. Obviously, we are not going to grow coconuts or chicken nuggets. Just be realistic, okay? Anything that you put in this garden does need to be realistic. I know that I've said that a lot in this video, but it's super important because we are picking one of your designs to put in our courtyard, okay? Next thing, I'm going to show you how to upload an image into your diagram. So if you come right here where you see this box and it looks like a mountain range, it says insert image. You just click on it, and then you can click on search the web. And this great little Google Images side will pop up right here. So if I wanted a swing or a pond, remember to be realistic. Obviously, I'm not going to put a dinosaur out there or a Chick-fil-A drive-through or a coffee shop. But things that we could have picnic tables, we could have chairs, we could have a picnic shed where you guys could go out there even if it was raining. You could have a small pond. Obviously, I'm not going to have like a swimming pool because that's not realistic again, okay? But something I could have out there is a swing. Okay, so I'm just going to type in swing, hit enter, and then I find a picture of a swing that I want to add in there, okay? Let's see. I don't want one with someone in it. That looks kind of weird. But let's pick this one. So you just click whichever one that you want, and then you're gonna come down here. Oh, not that one. Nope. Then you're just gonna hit insert, which is at the bottom of your screen on the bottom right corner. Hit insert, and it will upload it in there. Now, you see on here that it completely covered up everything that's on my screen. No need to panic. Anytime that you see this blue outline, that means that you can resize it. So you are just going to take a corner and drag it down to the size that you want, and you still have that picture right there. Okay, so I'm going to make this kind of small. I'm actually going to resize some of my raised beds because remember, we're trying to make this look good and I want everything to fit nice and neat. You also need, like, obviously I know this is a swing, but if we were just describing this, I don't want to be in a meeting and say, well, I think that's a swing, I'm not entirely sure. So make sure that you add a text box and you label whatever it is. So this is a swing. Okay. Next thing that you also need to have walkways to each one of these raised beds because we want to make sure that this is nice and neat. In our school garden, we don't want to make it look crazy or anything like that. We want it nice, neat, and organized. So I'm going to make little walkways to each one. That way we don't ruin the grass or anything like that. I'm actually going to come around here and do it like this one. We want to make sure that we can get to each one of our raised beds. You need to tell me what is in them. And all of yours, you can have more than 5 raised beds, but you need at least 5 because that's the current amount that we have right now, okay? You can add as many pictures as you want. Just make sure that the pictures are realistic. I should not see any pictures of Pokemon Go or anything like that, or a TikTok video or anything like that, okay? Make sure that in this project that you are taking it seriously because we are looking to see what students are doing because we want you guys to decide what goes into our school garden. You are welcome to have pictures inside of your raised beds. So for example, if I wanted a picture of lettuce, type in lettuce, click on a picture, remember hit insert, and remember anytime that you see that giant box, oh, whoops, you just need to resize it. Oh no, what just happened? Okay, perfect example of what to do if something goes wrong. The great people at Google knew that we would mess up, and if you go right here to this undo button, you can hit undo as many times as you need to, or redo in case you went back too far. Okay, so I'm going to resize my lettuce, and if lettuce is over here, I might want to add a little picture. That way, if someone is confused on what lettuce looks like, I can just show them. Okay, so that is what you need to do. You also need to show me how big your raised beds are and how long your walkway is. So for example, for my raised bed right down here, remember, make it realistic. The size of our raised beds right now are 6 foot by, that's just an X right there. You do 6 foot by 3 foot by 1 foot. And I know that we talked about these earlier in the week on Monday and Tuesday because they are not super huge or anything like that. So for each thing, you need to tell me the dimensions, how long, how wide, and how tall it is. So 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, and then 1 foot tall, okay, or 1 foot high, okay? So I will be watching whenever you are done with this on Friday. You need to make sure that you have hit turn in on Google Classroom, okay? Sound good? All right, guys, I miss you. I love you. Make sure that you are good. And if you have any questions, just make sure that you let me know. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.